Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one, I don't care.
Hello, I am Lily.
And no, I won't go straight to hell. I'm gonna stop off in New York first.
Why New York?
Because. Alright, anyway, welcome to the From the Closet podcast. Today we are covering beautiful creatures. So, if you'd like to avoid the spoilers for this movie, there will be a Just Watch link to there will be a link in the description below to the Just Watch page for this movie. Just Watch will have all the places you can rent, purchase, or stream this movie. Uh, Lily, where did you watch this?
Um, actually, I watched it on my Movies Anywhere. Why?
Oh, okay. So it might be on Netflix. I didn't check. I watched my DVD.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch it on Netflix. If because I remember checking it, I'm pretty sure it said it was. Then I just didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it might be on Netflix for us here in the U.S. But anyway, our Just Watch link is to the U.S. version of the site. However, if you use the app, it will automatically redirect you to your country's page, and if you and you can change the country from the website page itself if you're using the website. Um, Also in the description below is a link to our Patreon where you can vote on future episodes of this show as well as get access to episodes of this show before they release, as well as early access to episodes of our sister show, which is Off the Shelf. Um, that podcast is about books and it's exclusive to YouTube and Patreon. At the time of this recording, new episodes are coming soon. I cannot promise that we will get to beautiful creatures. Um,
I did say we.
just shut up. Um, I just I don't know. Like part of me does not want to just part of me just does not want to reread this series.
Huh.
But anyway, so yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to have Lily spin the wheel to determine what our next wheel movie is. So,
It's spinning. Oh, finally. Hocus Pocus.
oh boy. Well, we'll see how that goes. And
Considering it's
there's a
nowhere
seat.
close to October.
And I think there's like a sequel to it apparently.
Yeah. Um, Released like last year, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, look forward to that. Can you talk about what's on the schedule right now?
I'm looking at the schedule, so that's Beautiful Creatures. Then next week is our free movie of the month and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay, so the Monday after that should be Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. And with all that being said, please get out of here if you would like to avoid spoilers, because we are going to begin discussing the movie. All right.
Magic.
Yes,
Avery,
magic.
do you believe in magic?
No,
Why?
because magic's not fucking real. But then again, neither are you.
You're not real.
Neither
I'm
is New
going
Zealand.
crazy. In fact, you're not real. This podcast is not real. You're just pretending that you're listening to a podcast while running. What are you doing?
Yeah. Why do you assume people who listen to our podcast run?
I don't know. But I know a lot of runners listen to podcasts, so.
Hmm. But anyway, like
Or
I don't know.
people that go in
So
a car.
so the I honestly thought going into this you would hate this movie.
As you already know, that didn't exactly happen.
Yeah, like the plot is very very romance heavy. Um
Here's the thing
And
about my brain. I can ignore that and just focus on the things I like. And surprisingly, there's a lot of things to like.
are they all named Macon Ravenwood?
Um, no, only half.
But yeah, okay. So basically, the gist of this movie is some guy named Ethan Waite um, meets this girl named Lena Duquesne, and they start falling in love. But Lena Duquesne is a caster, and for one thing, casters are not supposed to fall in love with mortals. Um, it can be very dangerous. The mortals can very often die.
Yeah,
So
mortals can do that.
yeah, so during the course of this whole thing, they come to discover like it. It's talked about that basically Lena's family has a curse on them that will. Okay, for starters, casters have a ritual when they turn 16, particularly caster women. Where when they turn 16, their powers will be claimed for either light or dark. But over the course of the story, they come to discover that Lena's family has a particular curse on them that will lead to. Uh, I should have before saying it. Their powers will be claimed for light or dark based on their true nature. However, there is a there is a curse on Lena's family that can very often um, lead to someone's powers being claimed for dark despite their true nature. Um, and that's actually what. Sorry, I will. I did say I would try to spoil later, but try not to spoil later books. But like, from what I understand, that seems to be what happened to Ridley.
Hmm.
And a lot of her journey is like actually trying to be a good person despite her powers being claimed for dark.
Now, there is something I don't understand about this.
Yeah.
Why?
So
And
the
especially, like, is there a light and dark faction? God, is there going to be a
so
holy war?
so something else about I mean, so it's basically just the idea of like good versus evil. That's really all it seems to be. But the weird thing, though, like something else I wanted to point out that this movie just completely leaves out, and it's kind of funny because
Hmm.
there are several scenes where it's like, yeah, this would make so much more sense if you actually figured out a way to keep this in. Light casters have green eyes. Dark casters have gold eyes.
Okay, I see. I mean, I guess I understood that the dark casters had, those eyes because I guess it was just subtle clues.
Yeah,
And
it's just really goofy when there are scenes where like a character takes off their glasses and yeah, just their eyes aren't green or gold. But
huh.
yeah, at the end of the book, Lena's eyes were supposed to like um one of Lena's eyes was green and the other one was gold.
But that didn't really like. I remember one of them was gold, but I don't think the other one was green. Was it?
I mean, I was looking up really close and I literally literally, it seemed like they were trying to make it impossible to see her eyes.
Huh. Well, I saw darkness in one eye, and the other eye, I just don't remember what I saw.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, there's a lot. I actually partly when Lena decided to like take when she reached up and just kind of removed the moon from the sky. Um, I was like, oh yeah, that is weirdly similar to what the collector in the Owl House did. The collector being someone who Lily decided to refer to as iPad Kid.
Oh my god. Yeah, got games on your phone?
Yeah, but um, yeah. So this movie it very much follows the plot of the book quite closely up until the very end, where they wipe Ethan's memories for some reason, and I don't recall that happening in the book.
I don't think
And
they
I'm
wanted a
fairly
sequel happening.
yeah. See, that's the weird thing to me. It's like it seems like it was done deliberately to prevent a sequel movie from being made, but then like why would you not want a sequel movie to be made?
That is a good question, but I guess they just didn't want a sequel. I guess
Yeah,
I guess this was just a one and done thing.
yeah. I also have to make the comment. This movie is like, I forgot how a lot of the movie just feels like incredibly southern, particularly with the way that certain characters speak. And I don't necessarily mean with their accents, I mean more like with the way they structure sentences. Like, that was a dead end conversation on a road going to nowhere. Just feels like something a southerner would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this movie that I don't hear very often.
Like, bless your heart, sugar, you must have been the first in your litter.
Yeah, no one says this around here.
Yeah. That,
Fuck,
like,
no, I don't think I've even heard someone say like "bless your heart."
and that
Then
phrase
again,
is
no
such
one
a
wants to
double
bless my
edged
heart.
sword here because, like, here, someone can say bless your heart, and it can either be genuine or sarcastic.
Bless your. Um, it's like find help.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. So I would say overall this movie is fairly accurate. It's just the very end, almost a Darkest Minds situation, but the Darkest Minds had like it started deviating in the climax.
Yeah. Why, I
And
don't know. In fact, I feel like they actually wanted a sequel. But hey, no one gets a sequel.
no one will ever get a sequel. All sequels from now on will be banned.
This is a tragedy. This is a tragedy, a mockery, a sham. Tragedy of two mockeries of sham. I can't finish that though.
I mean, apparently Satan hates sequels, so
Yeah, well, Saiyan hates everyone equally. I'm pretty sure anyway.
but yeah, so the line delivery for a lot of the characters, Macon and Ethan especially, really good. I do actually really agree with something you said before we started recording was that like the line like you're gonna need some fire to burn that unfortunate hat you're wearing
My God,
was
yeah.
it was pretty great. Megan's a boss.
See, I see where they're going with in this series. You know, it's the battle between like light and darkness, right?
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate thing is, I've seen it. I mean, there's a lot of series, movies, properties that has done this before, right?
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that is really a draw to this is like the whole curse thing was like okay, so the curse is placed on Luna's family when her ancestor Genevieve Duquesne um, used a spell, a forbidden spell, to resurrect Ethan's ancestor, who was also named Ethan, from the dead.
Honestly,
That
I really did hope they'd bring something up. Like, that curse had, like, some sort of reincarnation attached to it.
I mean,
But no.
the thing with this curse is that like it's supposed to just like the events that led up to it, particularly, namely, a caster girl falling in love with a mortal boy, was supposed to happen again, and that would be when the curse had an opportunity to break.
Hmm.
And also, like, it was mentioned that the funny thing is, it was literally mentioned in the book that like when this happens, the previous person in the family to go through claiming would be dark, no matter what.
Hmm.
Gee, I wonder who that could be. Oh right, Ridley.
Yeah. Um, God, this. I had something I wanted to say, but right. So, I mean, the whole light and dark thing been done before, and I actually find a lot of parallels to something, but sadly, I can't bring any of them up. Because, in fact, we've already committed ourselves to covering it.
What?
The seven deadly sins.
Oh, I don't think those episodes will have released uh by the time this episode releases.
Um, I mean, there is a lot of foreshadowing in the first season of what I'm talking about, but you will never know until maybe see like our episode 2 or episode 3. Um, that's when it gets really heavy into
I'm sorry, did you mean season 2 or season 3?
I mean, technically we're doing the Netflix, so I really do not count season 2 as a season, but technically it still exists. And I'm not. I am
No, I'm just asking if you meant the word season instead of episode.
technically I did mean episode, but I mean like our episodes of you know like when we're covering it.
You just had to make this really confusing.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, there
The
is
season.
something
Hmm,
there are some things to complain about though with accuracy to the book. So for starters, they have this scene from the book where Macon shows up in Ethan's room. It's actually supposed to reveal that um, he's an incubus and
hmm.
is capable of stealing people's dreams. So, like, you wouldn't remember your dream.
That's a
And
weird power.
yeah, he does that to Ethan, and then like there is this whole speech that happens in both the movie and the book, but they leave out the line "You really are such beautiful creatures," or something like that. It's very similar. Um, and I don't know. It just seems like kind of a weird thing to leave out. Because like without it, you don't really get anything to understand why this movie is called Beautiful Creatures.
I mean, I'm just going. The response I gave was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! They just said the movie. I'm so happy, right? They said the name of the movie."
Regardless, there was also a song that was supposed to play several times throughout the course of the book, and it just does not appear in the movie at all. It was supposed to be like foreshadowing the events of the climax, really. They also left out the dance. They did mention it, so like, eh, whatever.
They just didn't have time to record it.
I mean, the dance was particularly bad for Lena. It was a mess, from what I remember.
Hmm. Sadly, I'll never know.
Yeah. Um, there's there was a lot more to the story uh, between Macon and Ethan's mom.
I felt that like there's a lot more that hasn't been revealed.
Yeah. But in particular, something that they briefly, very, very briefly touched on. And, well, it honestly, you can barely even say they touched on it. So in the book, um,
Hmm.
basically, Ethan and Lena are having the same dreams over and over leading up to before like they actually meet.
But never knew that Lena was having that same dream, right?
Yeah, we didn't know that Lena was having the same dream, but we did know they both were dreaming about each other before they met. But the thing is, these dreams are linked and they kind of develop some kind of psychic connection that confuses literally everyone else involved because Ethan is mortal and that shouldn't be possible. Um,
Unless Ethan is not mortal. Da 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 da.
Actually, it's Seraphine. Seraphine's the reason.
Oh, fuck me. I was really hoping for that, that great plot twist, but no.
Yeah, no, he's completely mortal.
Not even resurrected. Rebirth process or whatever.
You know, it's funny you should mention that. Moving on.
What? I'm sorry, what?
For those of you who have read the books, you know, what was
What?
it? Beautiful Chaos. It was either Beautiful Chaos or Beautiful Redemption.
What's happening
But
right now?
one of them was wild.
I'm more confused than ever.
You should be.
Ah,
But regardless, yeah, so they left out a number of things, but they tried to do everything they could. I think the biggest issue though with like translating it into a movie is the fact that the book takes place over a pretty decently long span of time. And the only way they could really get that across in a 2-hour movie was to have mid-movie narration, which I don't think is ever really good. Um,
I
and
mean,
it's kind of a
espe-
bizarre decision. sorry, it's
Hmm.
kind of a bizarre decision to me because they do other things so well. Like the fact that they never explicitly tell you that the numbers on Lena's hand, like you're supposed to notice it yourself that they're changing and that they are counting down the days until her birthday. They never explicitly have to tell you.
Hmm. Uh, this is the second. No, wait. This is the third time we've covered a movie, or I feel like it might be the fourth. We covered a property where there are numbers on someone's hand/arm.
What? Where are you getting third or fourth? Because like the only things I can think of are In Time and this movie.
Amphibia. Not Fibia, fuck. Another animated show we covered.
Oh,
Um,
I wasn't thinking about shows, but yeah, I guess there is Infinity Train.
Infinity Train, thank you, sorry. Um, that's why I switched it up instead of properties. I said 3 or 4 because I swear we had this conversation before.
I mean, I
Whatever.
can't think of anything else. Just being real, there's nothing else I can think
Yeah,
of.
no, I mean, I can't think of anything either. If there was anything, I'm just completely forgetting.
But yeah, back on this movie, the other thing that I do like about it, and I don't know if this is just me misremembering the first book, um, but I do remember in the series that Lena and Ethan's relationship isn't particularly a healthy one. I know in the second book it gets particularly toxic, um, but I
And
can't
I can't
recall if.
remember the third and fourth book.
Oh, I remember some of the things that happen in the third and fourth book,
But
but
it's
more
not the
particular
relationship.
to the point, I can't recall it how toxic or non-toxic it was in the first book, but it's very healthy in this movie.
Yeah. Um, though, I mean, it does take place over a long period of time. That still doesn't exactly change how they just fell in love, which was, I saw you. I saw you. We're in love now. I mean,
Yeah, it's
especially Ethan was um, in these other romance movies, you just love someone and you don't have anything. No, he basically lost any friends that he had at that school except one.
yeah, except Link.
Debatably if he ever liked them, but he still lost
It
them.
didn't seem it really didn't seem like he ever liked any of them to begin with, except Link.
That one that basically shot him.
Yeah.
But he's going to New York with him, so that's good.
Yeah,
Before heading
except
off to
that
hell.
that yeah, except that that doesn't happen in the book. Although Link does actually go off to New York. That part is accurate. But it's not Ethan that goes with him.
Huh. Then who?
It's Ridley.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of wild. But I mean, I've said pretty much all there is to say. Like, it's a okay at best adaptation, kind of a mediocre movie.
Honestly, yeah, I can't think of anything I need to say. Except one thing. It's not really about the movie. So you know how I looked up the critic ratings, right?
Uh huh.
I actually forgot to look at them. So this will be a surprise for both of us.
Fun.
Um, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay then. IMDb gives it a 6.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 47%. Letterbox gives it a 2.6 out of 5. And 65% of Google users like this movie.
Okay, so I can kind of get where IMDb is coming from. And like I understand Google users not liking the movie because I mean, it's a book to movie adaptation and they completely botched the ending. Might have been on purpose. Who can say? For me, I'm going to give this movie a 6.8.
Honestly, it's been a back and forth because, I mean, especially for me, who focuses on what I like and ignores things that I don't like, but I really do need to focus on the things that I don't like for this rating. Because no matter how much things I like, there's still that weird romance, which, whatever, I'm covering a romance movie. That's just still how I feel. So, honestly, 8, not, wait, why did I say, 6.6? 6.6.
6.6. Okay. All right, fair enough. You know, it's funny. It's something. Another line. I just want to touch on this line before we go. Another line in the movie that I thought was pretty great. Megan asks Selena if she would play something on the piano for Ethan, and she's like, "No," and he says, "Why?" Because we're not in a Jane Austen novel.
Great.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a pretty good line. But anyway, you can join us next week for our free movie of the month for May 2023 and Spider-Man Homecoming. You can join us the Monday after that for Hocus Pocus. And with all that being said, I've been Avery. That's been Lily. We will be seeing you.